Hi there, it's Sandra with Brew City Thrifts. Today, it is a Monday after work, and we are at the St. Vinny's, St. Vincent de Paul's in Waukesha, Wisconsin. And we have a guest shopper with us today.
Hi.
It is Zoe, my daughter Zoe, with us one more time. We have to make it a power thrift because we only have about an hour to shop. So let's get in there, let's hit it. So Zoe zooms off to look at the clothes, but I start in the toy aisle. When I'm in the toy aisle, I'm typically looking for wooden toys, and I do spy this little truck with a cute little chain on the back with a hook on it. Unfortunately, there is some damage on the front, but I'm thinking I might give it a chance. If it were signed, it'd be even better, but it goes in my cart. They have a whole slew of vases here at the St. Vinny's. The first one that catches my eye is this one, but it is not my thing really. And then I notice this one, which is a little bud vase. It's got a signature on it. It's got a drip glaze, kind of a swirl glaze, I guess I would say. And it is very pretty. I think this is the kind of vase that a lot of people really love to collect. I'd also picked up a couple of boxes of thank you cards and some staples. Continuing on the many vases, I see this one which has a pretty glaze, but it is made in China. It's contemporary. Below it, I spotted this vase with a pretty pink glaze. It is an Isaac Mizrahi vase. They're asking $5 and change, and I take a look at it, but there were a lot of them on eBay and they don't go for very high prices, so it went back on the shelf. This Italian vase caught my eye. It's hand painted. It's got a nice design. I'm sorry, it's a planter, but my Italian planters have sat quite a long time unless they're really outstanding, and so I left this one behind. Continuing along with the many vases here at St. Vinny's, you can see that the colorful section tapers into a whole heck of a lot of clear vases. But among the rainbow colors here, we're going to start. So I guess I'm panning to show you lots and lots of vases here. The first one that I want to pick up and take a look at, well, I just noticed this one. This is, I believe, Anchor Hocking. It's not a vase that I would typically pick up. I know it's vintage, though. It's just not one that I've ever particularly, not a style I've been particularly attracted to. This one was kind of a smoky topaz color. It had some heft to it. It seemed like it was a nice vase. This one was very pretty and colorful. It's got that kind of watermelon green and pink, but it is contemporary, made in China. Still very nice. Somebody's gonna love it. This one also another contemporary piece, Teleflora. Again, someone's gonna like that. I think it's cool, but I don't typically pick up Teleflora vases. And then down here, I've noticed this was really pretty. It also looked to have some age. It was a crystal vase with a sort of an interesting kind of goldish tone to some of the glass there. And that was highly patterned. That's the kind of thing I might pick up, but this time I decide to leave it behind. This is the more pottery vases section, planters and etc. going into the florals. And there's mostly contemporary pieces. A few things catch my eye. First, this little vintage kitty planter. This vintage kitty planter, which had some chips on it. And behind it, whoa, I did knock that off. Now, luckily, it was some sort of plastic and it did not break. But I was going for this pottery vase. It's maybe not that old, but I like the design and the glaze on it. It's got very boho mid-century vibes, and I decide I really like it, and I'm going to take that. In the Halloween section, my eye is caught by this eye, which is part of a very fun novelty plate. It is by Grasslands Road. It is not typically a very expensive brand, but I just think this is super fun. And you would put toothpicks in the eye and your appetizers on the plate, and it's Halloween's coming up, so I put that in my cart. Below it is this very beautiful embossed ceramic plate. It does look like it might have some Asian. It's not marked. I don't know the brand, but I did think it was super pretty. Just a lot of chippies on the embossing. And then here I found this fun pumpkin decoration. I think it's just a decorative piece. I'm not sure if it has a purpose. I don't always remember to tell you about this. Moving into the tchotchke aisle, I first noticed this glass figurine. It is contemporary and it is also chipped on the beak. We've got some owls and bird figurines here. And on the shelf below, here is a pair of bookends. They are shaped like American eagles, very highly detailed, which I thought was interesting. Brass with felted bottoms, $6.99 for the pair. I did look them up, and unfortunately, for bookends, because sometimes bookends will go for, $35, $40. Those didn't go for as high a price. And next to it, I saw some, those were vintage or antique irons. $8.99. They had been upcycled and hand painted. Moving along, I noticed this, and honestly, I still don't know what this is. It looks to be handmade. It's a wooden something. You guys can tell me what you think it is. There also was a box. It was taped shut, so I couldn't tell what was in it, but it seemed empty. And then I noticed this bird. It is made out of metal. I just like the design. It's, more of an abstract bird. It's simple. The lines are nice. It's contemporary, but I decided I was going to put it in my cart and think about it. Sometimes I pick up birds for my mom. And on this shelf, I noticed this looked like a vintage metal art piece. It is missing a cannon, unfortunately, although I thought the knight was really cool. And next to it, you could hear that little tone. This is a Cody music box. I think they were powder. They held powder puffs, I believe, back in the day. And it's a music box. I'm not sure. Maybe it was a trinket box. Definitely old. It's dented. I put it in my cart to think about it since it was working. There were loaded shelves here today. This is a little Mexican trinket dish. Got a little lidded jar there. Back here is a little handmade glazed planter. Again, this one has some more maybe vintage vibes, but I decided to pass on it. This is a piece that was a little trinket box with a hinge. Another hand glazed item. This one is signed. On the shelf below, I noticed this hand painted serving plate. It is also signed Ginger. So maybe a hobbyist piece or possibly studio art. Nice painting. This looks like probably a pillar candle holder, but I just loved the wood grain on it. Again, more contemporary piece. A little bit of scratching, but I just thought that grain was catching the light so beautifully. And then here is a fused glass trivet. When I put fused glass, when I list that, it does get a lot of attention, but this one piece I wasn't as excited about. This is a little bit on the thin side, so I left it. So I saw this little jewelry box. It's got the etched glass top. It is a hinged glass jewelry box. Typically, pewter is the metal that is the sort of holds all the glass together. I've got a soft spot for these items. I sell them okay. It's just I sort of love them, and so I'm sort of single-handedly trying to bring them back. In the candle aisle, I had already picked up like 3 or 4 candles, but this pottery goblet caught my eye. It has an interesting glaze, but it had these 2 little spots on the sides that, I don't know, they were maybe flaws. And I do have a couple pottery goblets already listed. I decided I would put this one back, but people pay attention to those pottery goblets. I don't know, they may be a thing right now. So just an FYI to be on the lookout for those. I noticed this cheese cloche. I like that it has handles, and I like that there's etching on the glass. Underneath it shows that it's dolphin, which is typically teakwood, and I do think it says teakwood there. I really like it, but those don't, in my experience, those don't go for a ton of money. So I take a good long look at it. There doesn't seem to be any damage, and I'm in cheese country, so I don't know, maybe it would have done okay here, but I do pass on it. Behind it, I see one of these ceramic cake servers. I've got one listed that's by Andrea by Sadek, and I really debate on this, but I do decide to leave it behind. In the bakeware area, I notice, well, I first noticed this, it looks like it's a Pyrex pie plate. But then underneath it, I saw this baking pan. This is for Easter eggs, I think, and it is by Nordic Ware, which is typically a really good brand to pick up. I think the Nordic Ware bundt pans are the ones to really look out for. The muffin pans don't seem to have quite the resale value, so it is a nice pan, but I decided to leave it on the shelf. Got a sweet treats jar here by Hallmark. It's got a lid on it. It's kind of freeform, kind of fun. Got some vintage Corningware there. I was hoping that was maybe a better brand of baking pan there. And then I noticed this. It's a little tray of matching square ceramic serving dishes with wooden lids. This is definitely contemporary, maybe a Target piece, but I just really liked it, and I thought that is really useful. I could see myself keeping it and using it myself, so I decided I was going to take that with me. Well, here's a really fun plate. It's got a really lovely glaze. It kind of looks like a sunset. It is signed on the bottom, so maybe a studio art piece. And I just sort of love that glaze. That's just really beautiful. So that goes home with me. So since they've reorganized here at St. Vinny's, they put all of their more collectible items towards the end of the store. So these last shelves are where I think they tend to place things that they think are collectible or vintage. And I thought this was a really pretty trinket dish. It's lidded. It's got a mark on the bottom. I was trying to make out what it said, and honestly, I looked really close. I still really couldn't quite make out the words on that little footprint. So if you know that maker, let me know in the comments. There was a hand-painted bowl next to it, a out-of-place figurine, or maybe it's a vintage figurine. I don't know. I don't know very much about toys. And then we're moving down the shelves. There is a lusterware piece. Then I noticed this plate. It was another hand-painted plate. Just thought it was very pretty, and it was marked on the back, but honestly, I'm so sorry I couldn't make out what that mark said. I didn't get it in the camera very well, so I don't really remember what the marking was. A few more items that might be collectibles here at the end. So here are the shelves where they really put together all of the real collectibles and vintage items. I'm doing a slow scan so you can see the variety, the kinds of things that they've saved for last, the best for last here. And this is a vintage ice crusher. I have sold one in the past that was sort of a princess pink color, really cute. Pretty soon Zoe's going to come up and I'm going to switch to the live sound. Hello, you find anything?
Kinda. I haven't tried anything on. I kind of want to, but also I didn't realize it was up early, and so I took my time, and now I'm sad. That's cool.
You can try some things on. You still have time.
Look.
What is that? It's just a wooden figurine.
It's the thing that's kind of similar to what you.
Yep. Yep. It's like that other thing I got. The more like African art. So go ahead and try some stuff on because we've got a few more minutes. Okay. Be fast.
Oh, Mom.
What? I'm sorry. Oh, Wizard of Oz. I could get that for
Plates 4, 3.
Yeah, you know the thing about this is that Patty collects Wizard of Oz stuff. She's like a big Wizard of Oz fan. I don't know though. This might be too. I don't know if this is too kitschy for her, and they're asking $12. I'm not sure. I think I might go ahead and leave that. I'll think about it though.
This is cool. Oh.
Yeah, that's a nice one. You want to see what I got? Well, go try on your stuff first. So Zoe goes off to try on some clothes, and I keep looking at these items on this final set of shelves. That was a cute little deer there. This cup was really interesting. It's actually, I guess it's a creamer. That handle was very interesting, and I loved the frosted color. It did have a bit of a chip there, but that color was really unusual. I would have picked it up if it weren't for the chip. Here we've got some very pretty stoneware, hand-thrown pottery plates or shallow bowls. Moving along onto the next shelves. Just touching things that catch my eye, and then suddenly I see this and turn it around to see, yes, in fact, it is Rowe Pottery. It is a Rowe Pottery mug, 1982. It's got the classic salt-glazed blue heart, and even though it's a bit pricey, I am definitely getting it, probably for a gift. Okay, let's review our cart, shall we? We start with this fun Halloween Grasslands Road serving platter. I have a buyer who likes non-scary Halloween stuff, and hopefully this is more funny than scary. They might be interested. Then I have this set of wooden lidded ceramic serving bowls or dishes, and that I think is really cool. I decide I'm going to put that back on the shelf. That is the powder puff container music box. It was just too dented and just too plain. The Rowe Pottery cup definitely coming with me, as is this beautiful hand-thrown drip glaze plate. I just love the sort of sunrise sunset design to it. Got a couple candles, 4 nice sized candles that I will be taking for myself. This little trinket glass with the slag glass sides and the etched glass top. I do decide to also put the wooden truck back on the shelf because of the damage. This vase I am taking. I think it's got a super cool boho look. This little bud vase I'm also taking. I was a little bit concerned about a scratch on the side, but I think it's fine. The bird goes back because it did not have a price tag with it. And there you have it. That's our haul for today. Pretty happy with it.
Rock on.
So we had a little bit of luck here at St. Vinny's. Didn't get a whole lot of things, but I think I was happy with that handmade, hand-glazed ceramic plate. I think that's going to make someone really happy. Zoe, what did you end up getting?
I got clothes as usual.
Clothes as usual. So like my channel, subscribe, and comment, and come back again, and we will do this again soon. So thrift on, everyone.